All right. Good Monday morning. Thank you so much for being with us on Daybreak Plus, streaming free on your television. I'm Brian Mays.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. We've got Hannah Rucker monitoring the roads. Casey Sherman, the very latest on the forecast. Again, there's been so much that transpired over the past couple of days, and then the potential for some more rain. That's definitely something we're looking at and just monitoring. Now let's give you the numbers. Nearly 80 people are dead in the central Texas area from floods. In Kirk County, 68 of them are dead, 28 of them children. Travis County leaders say 6 people have died and 2 people in Williamson County are dead, 3 in Burnett County.
Now, the bad news, which is hard to say because we've been praying for rain for so long, and now we've just gotten so much rain. And Casey Sherman is here with us now, and you're looking at the radar. Casey, there's more rain in the forecast happening today.
There is, yeah. You can see the redevelopment yet again across the area. In fact, not just redevelopment of light rain, but heavy rain across Llano County. We actually do have a new flood advisory in effect for Llano County that includes the community of Enchanted Rock up towards Llano and just clipping Lake Buchanan. That's through 10 a.m. this morning. We will have the possibility of seeing more isolated flash flooding through today as we still have a whole lot of tropical moisture. We still have a little wave of energy that kind of produce these showers and storms all weekend long that's still hanging around the area. So I still think redevelopment of these showers and storms will be a possibility all throughout the day today. Although the coverage won't be as high as Friday and Saturday, we already have very soaked and saturated soils, so it's not going to take much to get some additional flash flooding going here and some redevelopment of that. Heavy downpours out near the Sun City area and Liberty Hill. These areas, by the way, have picked up some totals of over 20 inches of rain since this weekend. So it just goes to show you how soaked our soils currently are. That's why we had some major flooding across some of those zones too. Showers extending now down through Gillespie County and the Fredericksburg area. We've got some light to moderate rain. The Austin metro area, spotty light areas of rain, and that's the case also out across the coastal plains. Additional spotty showers and storms possible all throughout the day because we do have a lot of moisture that we can tap into. Some of these rainfall rates could be between 1 to even 3 inches per hour. Some areas could be picking up an additional 2 to 4 inches, perhaps some locally higher amounts on top of the extreme amounts we've already had in some spots. So the flood watch has been extended through today from the National Weather Service through 7 p.m. Wouldn't be surprised if they extend it again through tomorrow, as we're still going to be looking at more rounds of showers and storms even as we take you through your Tuesday and I think even into Wednesday as well. Flood watch again in effect, 92 degrees for high temperature. I am finally tracking some drier conditions as we head into the later portion of the week. I'll have more on that in your full 7-day forecast, and also take a look at the lake level changes that we have had coming up in a bit.
Thank you so much, Casey. Unfortunately, not the forecast we want to hear today, but we are all going to work through this together. Another day of this going on. It is 7:05, and really, it cannot be emphasized enough the range of impact across the region as far as driving is concerned. We're taking a look at atxfloods.com, and once again, at last check, we have over 100 closures across the area because of these downpours that are just continuous. And once again, we are expecting more of that today. So let's talk about the current conditions as far as driving is concerned. It is 7:06. We've already had a couple crashes and the roads are slick out there. And really, that's what's interesting. It's not just these county roads. We're seeing it across the Austin metro. We've even seen it at I-35 had a closure in Wells Branch up to Georgetown. So just really make sure you have a way to get those alerts today. And we're going to push through another day of this, unfortunately. But yeah, take a look at this. This thing is just completely lit up across the area. And of course, if you are heading out to volunteer and hunt, please be very careful. They're only accepting volunteers. They don't want anyone out there poking around who doesn't need to be there because they are in full cleanup mode right now in this disaster here along 39 and all those closures on the Guadalupe River. So please be very careful if you happen to be heading out there. Liberty Hill, we have kind of a slew of closures here, not too far from where JP was showing us that flooded roadway this morning off of County Road 279. He was on County Road 259, but still seeing impacts across the area. And just one last note, Ranch Road 1431, a large closure stretching into Marble Falls. It has been very hard for Marble Falls folks to get around, and we're going to continue to follow this throughout the day.
All right, Hannah, let's take another look at this. The ATX Floods website reporting 101 low water crossings still closed, as Hannah just mentioned, all across the Austin area. These are impassable roads. The area from either water or debris left behind from the floodwaters over the weekend. State leaders say more conversations could be happening soon to start reopening some of those roadways.
We are going to begin recovery operations. That is debris cleanup. That is opening roads. That does not mean we are no longer doing search for live victims, because we still are. We are still out there and very much hopes, very much fueled by the compassion that we show for these families, that we're doing everything we can to find their missing loved ones.
Now, as of this morning, we know that at least 6 people have been killed in the flooding here in Travis County that happened over the weekend.
And Travis County leaders say recovery efforts are going to take weeks. Our team coverage continues this morning with Malia Masamoto in Leander. Malia, how does it look out there right now? Kind of paint the picture for what's behind you.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage all around. We can really see it. Hi, are you a neighbor here?
I live there. My son
Live in that
lives
house.
there.
Okay, yeah, we're just looking at all the damage that's surrounding here. Is this your first time back here this morning
No,
to see
I've
it?
been here every day.
Every day to
I've
come
been
see
staying
it.
with my daughter.
Yeah, what is it like looking at all this right here?
I've been here 50 years.
Can't
my
imagine.
pipe rail fence is gone. I just finished my back fence. It's gone. But my house is still here and I'm alive.
Wow, that is great. And you got a dog with you too.
Yeah, my little buddy.
Made it out. What's it like looking at all this and seeing the
Well,
neighborhood
I mean,
like this?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
We've lost, I know of 4 people out here. And a lot of people lost a lot of homes, so I feel blessed, really.
Yeah.
And my house is still there. I don't have electricity, but PEC's coming out today.
Wow.
The biggest thing happened is the water got underneath my mobile home and washed the plumbing out.
Wow.
But I'm a plumber.
You're a plumber. There you go. Well, this is just wild to see. I'm going to show them actually what we're seeing out here. Thank you for talking to me. And for a second, I hope everything is getting restored. And
Well, like I told my neighbors, see my neighbor there, they rode their house down. Jay and his daughter, son-in-law, and 2 kids, they rode their mobile home all the way through. You can see all the devastation.
yeah, have
I
you ever
woke up-
seen anything like this?
I woke up at 1 o'clock for some reason, and I walked out on the porch, and it was raining.
Yeah.
And I went in, took care of it, got coffee or whatever. And I come back out at 1:30, and the water was running across the front yard. And I said, Well, my brother has an RV back there, and he was back there asleep. So I tried to call him. Of course, he didn't answer. At 2 o'clock, I called my daughter. I said, I love you.
Wow.
She said, what's the matter? I said, well, I'm fixing to go visit your mama and Jesus.
Wow.
And the water was up to the porch at that time. And then that's my garage.
That's your garage. We're wondering
It
what that is.
was right
And this
over
is your
there.
boat too?
Huh?
Is this your boat too?
No, I've gained 3 boats in the process. I don't have a boat, but I got 3 now.
Wow. So they got washed over from somewhere else
Yeah,
here.
we just pulled that one out of the backyard. It was up against my house.
Wow.
There's a inboard, outboard in there. And there's another boat over there.
Wow.
But I had about 10 masons. I'm a master mason. I had 10 brothers come out yesterday and help me. They just started cutting wood. And we got the tractor turned upside right.
See that?
It was just amazing. Then the church groups come by and brought us food.
Right. We heard
So,
they're
I
doing
mean-
that today as well.
We're doing good. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope Travis County puts some barricades back up there. Because you got all them looky-loos, and they just getting away. Now, we did have some stop. Can I help you? Yeah. You got a chainsaw?
That's nice when people
borrowed
come
a
out.
generator from a buddy, or a new buddy, because he come up. He said, yeah, I got a generator because I got a freezer full of meat. So I could keep it going. you
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
And the same with my brother, my son's house. But it's just, like I told Joe Botany, my neighbor, it's going to take a year. We're not going to do it overnight.
Yeah. It's going to take a long time.
We just do it a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Wow.
Everybody would say, well, how do you feel? I said, look, don't worry about us. Think about the girls down in Kerrville. All them little girls got washed away. That's where we should be concentrating. I mean, yes, we've lost 4 confirmed deaths out here, I think, and 10 missing. We haven't found yet.
Yeah.
But everybody down the street, Joe's still there. Me and Larry are still there. Everybody else is gone. Their house is destroyed.
What have you heard from officials? What have they been telling y'all?
I haven't heard of anybody.
You haven't heard anything. So you're just coming out here and seeing this for yourself and figuring it out.
Well, we stayed. This is the kicker. We're sitting on the porch, high and dry. The water's receding. Here comes the fire department. Y'all need to evacuate. I said, my daughter's coming. Well, y'all need to get out of here. I said, where are we going? We'll go down to the corner. Well, it's raining cats and dogs. I'm 75 years old, carrying my dog, soaking wet. Then we walk all the way up there. We wait an hour and a half because they wouldn't let my daughter through because of the barricades. And I talked to somebody and said, just tell her to go around the barricades. And I told her, I said, baby, come on out here, but at the low water crossing, if you can't go, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But they did, some of the Travis County firefighters did take some of our people to HEB in the town, which helped, you know.
Right, definitely.
But I thought, why am I standing out here in the rain for an hour and a half when I could be sitting on the porch? The water had receded. See what happened, there's 2 creeks. That one and that one. That one goes all the way up to where it drops down into Liberty Hill. And it used to be that was the big creek, flood. But when it come through there, when that water was coming through here, I knew that that creek had come up. And they up on the Calhoun Ranch, they built an illegal dam. And as that water backed up, got more and more and more. Of course, we had 15 inches of rain too, or something like that. I don't know.
It can happen so quick, is what we're just seeing here, and seeing all the devastation around. I can see the boat here, and is that the shed over there too as well?
That little shed was, I've lost 4 sheds. I don't know where they're at. They're gone. That one there I built 40 years ago, it's still there. The barn, I think my barn over there is the only thing that saved my house.
So your house is okay, everything's,
well,
besides power?
Power, water, and sewer. What happened was, when it knocked the plumbing out underneath, the water come up through my under the toilet. I got a little bit of water in the back, but if I get power, I've got a shop vac, I can start, you know, cleaning it.
Yeah.
But the barn diverted the water around this way.
Yeah, if we want to show what it looks like around here to this area, if we want to pan around and see, show all the viewers out here what it's looking like.
My brother had a Cadillac and I had that's my truck up there in the barn. And I was sitting on the porch and the Cadillac come floating by. And then here come my truck and it stopped in the front yard.
Wow.
And 5 minutes later, here come the garage.
Oh my goodness.
The only thing happened to my truck, I lost the passenger side mirror.
How high was the water up? Were you walking in
You
it?
see how high his house is? He just moved in November. And Travis County said, you got to put it up there that high because of the floodplain. And we all laughed. But he got water in his house and I didn't, because it came this way. When the wall came through, it got up in his house and it went around mine. Thank God.
Wow.
If that barn wouldn't have been there, I would have probably been down there. And my brother was in his RV and the water was already up in. He said, what do I do? Well, when you call 911 and you don't get an answer, you're in trouble. Of course, I know why everybody was calling.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, Kevin, just stay in the trailer and ride it as long as you can and get out when you can. That's what they did. And Kathy Moss across the creek, same thing. Her house floated off and they hit the neighbors across the creek, hit their house, but they got out alive.
Is everyone in your family safe?
Yes, thank God.
Thank goodness, yeah. That's the main thing you think about, I'm sure,
Oh
during these
yeah,
times,
I don't, this is just material. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a while to replace it and fix it. Problem is, we've got so many people. We had a guy, crew come here and just, well, we'll clean it all up, we'll do this, we'll do that. Well, give me an estimate. $8,000. I said, no,
Wow.
we're going to get most of the wood and put it out in the middle and burn it. We're not under a burn ban.
So is it going to be all the neighbors coming together and doing this
Everybody,
yourselves?
Joe's got a tractor. The man over here, he brought his backhoe with a forks. There was 2 trucks down there, one on top of the other. He got them off. He pulled a lot of the vehicles. He did a lot. Well, he scraped all this because people were getting stuck everywhere.
Wow.
It's just going to take time, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up there this morning and clean my porch off because everywhere I walk out in the yard, I got tools. Because when it come through my barn, it washed everything out.
Yeah.
But as far as loss, nah, it's just stuff.
Yeah. And what's your name, sir?
Archie Basie.
Archie. Nice to meet you. Malia.
Malia.
And this is your dog too?
This is Bobo.
Bobo.
Bobo Festus Basie.
Wow. Well,
had
I'm
him-
glad everyone is safe in your family. It's a good,
Yeah.
best thing that you can hear.
Yeah, because
Sort of.
you know, when you lose people, that's the bad part.
Yeah.
I thought I was going. I'll be honest with you. I got a lot of work, but we'll see who shows up today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for talking to me and letting us show what's going
Y'all
on
just-
here.
That pile there, the guys got out of my backyard and piled it up there. I really didn't want it on that pecan tree, but I can move it.
Yeah. You got to start clearing it out somewhere.
Well, PEC won't, they got to straighten the pole up before they turn electricity on. But they've been out here quite often. PEC's been right on
Yeah.
top of everything.
What do you need most right now this time?
About 20 guys.
Just people to help out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be here.
Yeah.
I got faith. I'm gonna go
great.
up there and start working on my porch.
Yeah.
I
Well
need to
then-
open up my gate. I gotta start cleaning up my driveway, but I gotta get a bunch of stuff out of the way.
Well, nice to meet you, and I'm glad everyone's safe in your family, and
Everybody's
wish
safe,
everything
thank
goes
God.
well with this.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to send it back to y'all. Obviously, you can hear it's a
Wow.
long process for those residents who are out here just cleaning everything up, but this is what it's looking like out here. I'll send it back to y'all.
Malia,
Amazing
nice
job,
out
Malia.
there.
Yeah.
Bless Archie and Bobo and their family. I mean, just when we were listening to that interview, Malia, we were just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can show the pictures, but to
Yeah.
hear the
Yeah.
story behind all that damage, Malia, gosh, that was really, really something. I can't believe
Very
that man and
powerful.
those people went through that. And thankfully, he and his family are safe.
Too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we have a live look here downtown in Austin. The city of Austin has issued a ban on all personal and commercial use of several waterways. They include Barton Creek, Bull Creek, Lake Austin from Mansfield Dam to Tom Miller Dam and Lady Bird Lake. The ban is in effect until noon. Colorado River downstream of Longhorn Dam as well.
The rainfall did cause the lakes to rise a bit. This is video of Lake Travis just last Monday on the left, and on the right you can see the difference. The sometimes islands still noticeable, but not near as noticeable as they have been over the last several years. What a difference all that rainfall has made to the lakes. If there's any hint of a silver lining, it's that the water and the rainfall has been good in that way to fill the lakes up just a bit as we head toward the warmer months of July and August.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but at one point Archie said, you know, I think sometimes, am I wrong thinking that sometimes we hear about flash flooding a lot here in Texas, so sometimes just kind of glaze over it. We don't realize it's the impact of it. We've got to heed that warning. Maybe it's just because it happens quite often here in Texas, sometimes people don't take it as seriously, because he said at one point someone laughed it off, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to hear the stories from people, and we're going to hear a lot of them over the next several days, unfortunately, from people dealing with that for sure. We've got a quick cut in on the weather and traffic on the TV side. We'll be back with you streaming in just a few minutes. Hope you'll keep it here on KVUE Plus.
Good Monday morning, Central Texas. My name is Hannah Rucker, and we are taking a live look out on our roadways. It has been a heart-wrenching weekend, a devastating one across our region, and we want you to know we are with you this week. If you're just waking up today, travel is still pretty tough across the area, with over 100 closures across our region following floods on top of more rain expected today. So please make sure you have a way to get those alerts and be extra careful out there. Just to show you, I mean, the extent of this damage of ponding and flooding, and we've just been seeing it. And if you were heading out to hunt to help the good folks out there, they are only accepting volunteers. That's all they need is help. And if you're heading out there, this is along 39, that closure there in the Guadalupe River. It's really tough to get around right now. Seeing this closer to the Austin Metro, of course, out at Liberty Hill, we've got all kinds of closures there. And a very extensive closure is heading out towards Marble Falls on FM 1431. The folks there are really struggling to get around, and that closure starting in Lago Vista and stretching all the way out there. This is one of many closures across the area. And Casey, I mean, it just cannot be emphasized enough the extent of the damage.
Yeah, you know, and we still have an ongoing flood threat for today. Once again, seeing these showers and storms regenerate across the area. This is not what we need here across the region at this point in time. Our newest flood advisory out for Llano County, parts of Burnett County through 10 a.m. today. Heavy rain from Enchanted Rock to Llano, the Llano River, and up towards Lake Buchanan at the moment, along with some lightning. These are producing rainfall rates of 1 to even 3 inches per hour over areas, especially out across Burnett County, that have already received totals of upwards of 20 inches of rain over this past week, and additional showers out near the Jarrell area, some heavier activity out near Henley as well. We still have the chance for showers through the day today. Flood watches and remain in effect, so just kind of take care. 92 degrees for high, more rain for tomorrow.
Welcome back to Daybreak Plus here on KVUE Plus, streaming free on your TV. I'm Yvonne Nava.
And I'm Brian Mays. Our coverage continues here of the deadly flooding that happened here in the Austin area and in the Texas Hill Country starting back on Friday of last week. As of this morning, we have learned that at least 82 people have died in the state of Texas because of the severe weather, 68 of them in Kerr County. 11 people among the dead in Travis, Burnett, and Williamson counties. 40 people still missing in the state of Texas. Search and rescue crews out again this morning using helicopters, boats, drones, doing all they can to try and search and potentially rescue people this morning. And Casey's with us now. The rain still on the radar this morning, unfortunately.
It is, yeah, unfortunately. I mean, showers and storms, they continue to redevelop. We still have the same pesky little area of low pressure that brought us the deadly flooding this past weekend hanging around across the hill country. That will continue to bring us showers and storms through the day today and even into tomorrow. I think finally it will start to track out of the area beginning Tuesday afternoon. But in the meantime, we've got moisture in place. We've got the lift from that low pressure system, and this will continue to allow for more rounds of rain and storms to develop throughout the day today. Right now, the heaviest of the rain and storms currently focus out across Llano County over areas like the Llano River. We will continue to have to watch these area streams and creeks pretty closely here with the flood advisory in effect through 10 a.m. We do not have any flood warnings active across the area right now. I do think as we head into this afternoon, though, really throughout the day today, some additional flash flood warnings will be a possibility. As you can see these colors here, downpours with rainfall rates of 1 to 3 inches per hour on top of our already super soaked soils. That will lead to the ongoing potential of seeing some additional flash flooding as we head into today. Farther off to the east, Burnett County currently seeing some heavier pockets of rain moving through, along with out towards Lake Buchanan. We're drier for Georgetown and Round Rock, with showers now lifting to the north of you. An additional shower out and just off to the west of Hamilton Pool. And again, we will continue to watch these spotty showers and storms throughout the day today. Here is the upper level area of energy that I continue to keep an eye on. This will be swirling near our area today and tomorrow. I think finally it's going to be starting to push southward and away from us as we enter Tuesday afternoon. Showers and storms continue, though, for today. Heavy pockets of rain again possible. Our flood watch continues and has been extended through 7 p.m. this evening. I will be breaking down when we should finally start to dry things out coming up in a bit.
Thank you so very much, Casey. And we are ready for things to dry out because waking up today, we still have quite an impact ongoing from these heavy rains. So once again, if you are just waking up, this is a live look at ATX floods, which helps us track all the flooding in the area. And take a look. For every little red dot you see is an indication of a flooding issue across the region, stretching into the hill country, north of Austin, west of Austin. I mean, really feeling a wide stretch of this. And it's not just county roads, it's all kinds of roads and low water crossings as well. So let's talk about, the current driving conditions. It is a little bit slick from early morning rains, but as far as our major highways go, we're looking pretty good. But I mean, that's kind of saying something because things are changing quickly as these rains continue to move through. And once again, if you're just waking up, over 100 roads impacted. So just really make sure you have a way to get those alerts today that there is now another potential for flash flooding. And let's take a closer look at some of the impacts. Once again, the main concern right now is out near the Guadalupe River, where a lot of folks are trying to head out there right now to help them out. It's getting really congested and kind of turning into an obstacle course with these closures. But the main one, of course, is along 39 and the Guadalupe River, where they did new evacuations last night because of a new round of rain. So it's been really hard for even volunteers to get in there right now. Liberty Hill, you guys have all kinds of closures south of 29. These two are being indicated, but there's also a couple other county roads in here that are also feeling that right now. 1431 starting from Lago Vista, stretching into Marble Falls. We heard from Marble Falls officials over the weekend. Some people have been ignoring those barricades. Please do not do that. And look at how far that stretches from 1431. And I know it's been tough to get around. And for some of these areas, there's not a lot of alternate routes. So it's been kind of tricky out there.
Good advice from Hannah. Do not ignore the barricades.
We've seen how easy it is for just a little bit of water to cause a car to wash right away. So that's very good advice from Hannah this morning for sure.
Absolutely. It's going to take weeks to repair all of the damage from this weekend's deadly flooding in Travis County.
KVUE's Malia Masamoto is back with us now. Near and in fact, a very, very hard affected area at Sandy Creek. That's in Leander. You talked to a man there earlier this morning, just riveting the way he explained what happened to him and his family, Malia. What's the damage look like behind you there?
Yeah, well, Brian and Yvonne, he was just explaining how just fast these waters were rushing in here and just so much damage that it left behind all around here. This is his home that I'm standing in front of. You can see he's on the porch there. He has been coming back to look at all of his stuff and figure out, you know, where do we go from here? It's just a lot of debris. He says he's without power and water right now, but luckily he was able to get him and his family out and his dog, so everyone in his family is safe, which he says is a huge blessing. You know, he's saying all these materials and things on the front are just stuff. Nothing compares to, you know, people you love safe. So that is a good sign for him. But this is obviously going to be a lot of work. He's saying it's going to take a lot of people to clear this up, and probably, he said, maybe even here. And Travis County leaders, they say it's going to take a while to get everything restored out here. They're still continuing rescue efforts along Big Sandy Creek, which is an area near we are now. Also Cow Creek Road and FM 1431, which is northwest of Lago Vista. Crews rescued dozens of people Saturday after being evacuated. And this weekend, Travis County Judge Andy Brown issued a disaster declaration, which means people will be getting faster access to critical resources like debris removal, road clearance, search and rescue operations, and support for displaced residents. And one local Leander church, Round Mountain Baptist Church, is also trying to help the neighbors out here.
It's sort of like you're trying to take in what your memory used to be. It's like, oh, I remember there used to be my tree house over there. Well, the tree and everything is completely completely gone.
Well, that was another neighbor who lost their home out here, but now this church is also collecting food and water donations for people who have been displaced by this flood, and the church was also open all night for people if they needed a place to stay. And tonight, just about 15 minutes from now-ish, 20-ish minutes, they'll be handing out some food. That'll be happening until 5 p.m. tonight. They're also going to have ATM, internet access there, and they're trying to get some mobile showers out there so people can take a shower if they've lost water or power like a lot of these neighbors have in this area. Reporting live in Leander, Malia Masimoto, KVUE News.
Yes, the community is rallying together to help out with those resources. And just like when you were speaking with Archie and Bobo, their dog, he was saying, you said, what are you going to need? And he said 20 more people.
Yeah.
So it's going to need they're going to need a lot of manpower, right, to rebuild.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, Malia Masimoto live for us out in Leander. Thank you, Malia. Keep us up to date on what you're seeing out there. We'll check back in with you in a bit. Of course, right now, some bridges and roads seriously damaged, some roads still closed, in fact, in Williamson County.
Bradley Wheelis from TxDOT joins us now to give us more information on that damage. Bradley, thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about some of the worst hit areas. What can you tell us about some areas that are really just off limits? I mean, they're tough right now.
Well, as we just heard in the last report, RM 1431, we want folks to stay out of that area. We're looking at the Pecan Branch area. We were able to open that up for a little while yesterday evening, and then more rain started to move in, so we needed to get out of harm's way and keep people out of harm's way there. And then at Cow Creek, that bridge was swept away. There's no longer a bridge there. We'll have to reconstruct that bridge. So that's really the worst damage that we're seeing. On our roadways, most of the damage is going to be in our northern and western counties. So you're talking Williamson, Burnett, out toward Llano and Mason, and even Blanco counties. You can go to drivetexas.org, find the latest road conditions for state roadways. Again, conditions can change instantly. So reminder to folks to never drive through pooling or rushing water. As you mentioned, some folks have gone past barricades. That is not wise. I saw some videos online of people driving through rushing water. They made it, but that can sweep your car away in an instant. So we don't want people driving into this. Remember, this weather event is not over. So some of the roadways that we're looking at, I mentioned 1431, but we've also got, I've got a list here of a few more. US 377, that's out basically from Britt down to Junction. So out in the Mason County area, that roadway, we've got a few spots there that are going to need repair. Water is our biggest enemy with roadways. If we just get a regular rainstorm, you get too much moisture and you can see some flash flooding, and that can start to deteriorate a roadway. When we get the rain amounts we've seen and rushing water, that really wreaks havoc on our roadways. So our crews were out yesterday when they had a break in the weather to get out there and start assessments. We will continue those assessments today and get those roads repaired as quickly as possible. In fact, yesterday, we were able to go out to RM 1869. We were able to get that roadway open, also RM 1174 up near Bertram. So a couple of roadways, we were able to do some work and get those roadways open. Again, we're still in this weather event, so we want folks to use caution.
Bradley, you touched a little bit on it, but I'd like you to, if you could, kind of expound on the process. You have a team of individuals that assess the damage, and then I guess after that, the crews come in to actually do the repairs. What is that process like?
Yeah, so luckily, TxDOT is a big agency, and we have people all over the state. So our resources here locally, obviously, we have our maintenance crews that can go out and perform work. We have contractors already under contract that can do repairs for us as well. So our assessment teams go out when it's safe to do so. And remember, we're still in this weather event. So when there's a break and we've seen water levels go down, we can go out and assess bridges, roadways, etc. Then we put a plan in place. Let's get out there as quickly as possible. Yesterday, as I mentioned, we were already out there on a couple of roadways making repairs, getting those open. Those are temporary repairs. We'll come back through and have to do more permanent repairs on some of these roadways a little bit later. But again, if we need resources, we can tap into the state system. We can use our bridge division to help us with the bridges. We can use crews from other areas that were not impacted by this flooding or these serious rainfalls, and they can come in and help us as well. So we do have the backing of our state agency and the vast resources available to us. So that's kind of how the process goes. Again, this morning, our focus is going to be on RM 1431 and Cow Creek Bridge, talking about how do we get that reconstructed. If you remember, going back to 2018, we had some serious flooding back then, and we saw the RM 2900 bridge over LBJ Lake there in Kingsland washed away. It took us 6 months. We expedited construction there, got that bridge reconstructed, but that was a major impact to that community. It cut the community in half. The detour was long and vast. So even for emergency vehicles, emergency responders, they had to figure out a plan, a way to get to people north of that bridge as well as south. So those are all the things that are in consideration now. All of our team members are on this and working nonstop to get those roadways back open.
Now, Bradley, yes, we do remember the whole Kingsland situation with the bridge there, but it's worth asking, how did the storm impact any maybe ongoing construction projects?
We haven't done complete assessments of those yet. Here in the Austin area, specifically the city of Austin, we are looking at that this morning. You may notice if you're driving in that you see some construction crews that are out there. Over the weekend, because it was July 4th weekend, we halted construction so that we didn't have any impacts on people who might be traveling over the July 4th weekend. So that was planned. So there was no construction ongoing. We'll go in now and look at any of that current construction and whether we had any serious impacts to that.
All right, Bradley Wheelis with TxDOT. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time here on KVUE this morning. We really appreciate you and the information you're sharing with us.
Thank you. Be safe out there.
You as well, sir. Thank you.
All right, President Trump has signed a major disaster declaration for the area. FEMA is assisting now on the ground, and questions remain about the future of the agency. President Trump previously said he plans to phase out FEMA. So here's what he said yesterday when asked about FEMA.
Well, FEMA is something we can talk about later, but right now they're busy working, so we'll leave it at that.
All right. Also, the staff at Austin Pets Alive is looking for help, helping other animal shelters that have been impacted by the flooding. If you can foster a dog or cat, you can go to APA's website and click on the banner right there at the top. They also need donations to help with medical care. They need canned pet food and other pet supplies for all the foster animals. You can donate online or drop off a donation at that shelter. So it's hard to think about even the pets at this time for the areas that have been affected by this need help. Everybody in that region needs different kinds of assistance at this point, and it's going to be a while before they get back to normal.
That's right. And what Bradley Wheelis was saying with Kingsland, what happened that time is, think about it. Sometimes that bridge is, for some people who live in this part of town, it's their only way to get to the grocery store, or this and that. So it really kind of cut them off for about 6 months. They had to take a detour. So right now he was saying RM 1431 and some other bridges, they have to make sure, let's reconstruct these as soon as possible, right?
Well, and as Hannah reported this morning in Georgetown, right in the city of Georgetown, those main bridges on Austin Avenue, they don't know the severity, if any, damage that was done. So as a precaution, as you've reported, they've shut those bridges down now.
Well, even we were there live just a couple of weeks back, and you know, as he mentioned, the mayor, the extensive construction on top of that, it is, as you said as well, Yvonne, it's a lot of folks are already gridlocked to begin with. You have all these closures, and then, you know, the bridge wipes away altogether. What do we do with that? And Marble Falls specifically has also been mentioning, you know, there are a lot of people that just cannot find these alternate routes and have to solely rely on that. So they have to stay at home, and they're struggling to get groceries. They're struggling to get out, and there's a lot of people still stuck right now.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, the rain is still coming down in spots too. So, I mean, we're not completely done with the flash flooding risk either. This is, I think, going to be something that we're still going to be dealing with for at least the next couple days, possibly even as long as into Wednesday. Right now, we do have a new flood warning and flash flood warning out for Llano County. That's where we currently have seen the redevelopment of some heavy rain. Rainfall rates 1 to 3 inches per hour. We've already seen now some radar estimated totals of up to 1 inch in some of those spots just over about the past hour or so. Heavy rain now falling along the Llano River, Enchanted Rock, and there is that new flash flood warning for Llano County through 10:45 a.m. It is not recommended to be on the roadways right now. Because we've had so much rain, it's not going to take much for these area streams, creeks, and rivers to swell yet again. In fact, we do now have a new river flood warning in effect for the Llano River that's from Llano all the way down through Marble Falls. I've been keeping a close eye on the river stage of this. Right now, it is at action stage. So we have seen this kind of tick up just over about the past few hours or so. Action stage means not yet at flood stage, but that means for those that are near the Llano River and its river banks, you need to prepare for what could be definitely some flooding here as we head into the next few hours. But again, action phase, and we continue to just keep an eye on that for the time being. Additional heavy rain out towards the Lake Victor area just north of Burnett. This particular spot, Burnett County, received around 20 inches of rain over this past weekend from all the showers and storms that they have had. So it just goes to show you we have super soaked soils right now. It is not going to take much rain to lead to additional isolated flash flooding, which we will continue to have to watch today. We're still tracking this pesky area of low pressure. Right now it's sitting just north of Llano County. This is what's been kind of just hanging around all weekend long. It's been churning up these showers and storms, training those bands of rain over one particular spot, which is why we saw some impressive totals of around 20 inches in spots. And again, it's going to stick around through today. Part of tomorrow, I think by tomorrow afternoon is when we should start to see that finally clear out, and that should allow for a little bit of a drying trend, at least for the second half of the week. As for today, additional showers and storms spotty across the area. Hard to pinpoint, of course, exactly who's going to see the heaviest of the rain, but it's going to remain a possibility in spots again today. You'll notice the colors here on our future tracker, those bright reds and also pinks, showcasing those heavier rainfall rates of 1 to 3 inches per hour. We could see an additional 2 to 4 inches, perhaps even some locally heavier amounts. National Weather Service noting the potential of seeing amounts of up to 6-7 inches of rain potentially in some spots again from our showers and storms for today. So with that, flood watches have been extended now through 7 p.m. We continue to kind of see these extended day in and day out. I would not be surprised if we see this extended through tomorrow as well, as again, it's going to take time for this upper low disturbance. Here it is in that kind of bright red shading here to push southward. I think that will start to happen by Tuesday evening, but in the meantime, we will continue with the wet conditions for today and also tomorrow. And I think even into Wednesday, what we're going to see is an additional disturbance moving in from the Gulf. That should help push the current one out, but that one will be bringing more rounds of showers and storms through Wednesday. Finally, by Thursday and Friday, it looks like we have a decent chance of seeing things dry out across the area as high pressure begins to build back in. Now, one of the silver linings that we have out of this is, man, it has been so helpful for our lake levels. Here's a look right now outside of Lake Travis. You can see the Sometimes Islands looking a whole lot smaller. The reason being is we have had an impressive rise in our lake levels, specifically Lake Travis. 4th of July, before all the flooding happened, was at 44% full. Now, since the rain, we have gained a solid about 19 feet in elevation. Now it's 65% full. It's still 24 feet from being full, which is why we're not expecting the Mansfield Dam to be open. But you can it just goes to show you a whole lot of water has fallen across the area, and we could still see an additional 1 to 2 foot increase. That's what the LCRA is forecasting, depending on how much water falls and how that works on through the system. Drought monitor across the area. We still do need the rain, of course, for the hill country, so it's been good to see that. Lake Buchanan also now at 78% full. Temperatures today, 92 degrees, spotty showers and storms. That flood watch continues through 7 p.m. Again, we may see it extended through your Tuesday. Additional showers and storms through Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, we'll start to dry things out and heat things up with highs in the upper 90s by the end of the week.
We are certainly ready for things to be dried out, and I think really it depends what happens with the weather today. Will depend if we can get some of these roads opened up. It's been kind of that fluctuating number, but I kind of just want to slowly pan over some of this. You can see the wide range. It's mainly north of Austin, and then you can kind of see it's heading off to the west towards the hill country. But look at this. I mean, such a wide range of closures. And going back to what we were talking about with 1431 and heading out towards Cow Creek. And so it kind of starts this closure here at Lago Vista High School, and then look at this one, starts here at Tessera Parkway, and then look at how extensive this closure is, making it so hard to get around for a lot of folks that rely on 1431. So we'll have to see what happens with that in the coming days. And then even heading out, so we've got some issues there near Hamilton Pool, but then over here in Mason County, quite a few closures as well. We're still having issues on 377 as well as a lot of these county roads. And then, I mean, of course, the main focus is also what's going on here in Kerrville, and also feeling that through Hunt on that closure at 39, of course, all surrounding the Guadalupe River. It is just tough to get around right now, and we need it to dry out.
That is for sure, Hannah. Thank you. Before we go this morning, here are 3 things to know on a Monday morning. Nearly 80 people were killed in the severe weather and flooding here in Texas over the past few days. 68 killed in Kerr County. That, of course, is Kerrville. 28 of them children. Travis County leaders say 6 people have died in Travis County, 2 killed in Williamson County because of the severe weather. 3 people in Burnett County have been killed.
Yes, and in a post on Camp Mystic's page, they said that they have confirmed the deaths of 27 campers and counselors. We don't know how those numbers factor into the ones that we just mentioned, but that's just what their website says. Now, parts of Georgetown still under a boil water advisory. City officials say a water main break, well, possibly due to flooding. It broke. Now, people who live in the highlighted area on this map should boil their drinking water as a precaution until further notice.
All right, let's take a live look over downtown Austin. The city of Austin issuing a ban on all personal and commercial use on several waterways, including Barton Creek, Bull Creek, Lake Austin, Mansfield Dam to Tom Miller Dam, and Lady Bird Lake. The ban of watercraft is in effect until noon. The Colorado River downstream of Longhorn Dam also a ban on watercraft as of today.
And again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on the weather as well, because Casey has been mentioning with the potential for more flooding today with that rain. And we keep talking about the fact that, again, just you think about the soil, and then Troy Kimmel was also mentioning with a lot of the limestone that we have here, sometimes there's like nowhere for the rain to go,
Nowhere
right?
for the water to go, yeah.
So it definitely adds to potential flooding and some situations like how we had over the weekend. Well, thanks again for watching Daybreak Plus. Join us tomorrow for KVUE Daybreak from 4:30 to 7 a.m.